Sheriff, I have questions about training and equipment. Your budget now, being bare bones, probably doesn't allow you to replace equipment. And I don't know what all the equipment that you carry, but I know that many departments carry tasers and non-lethal types of devices. They wear out. Are you able to replace these things that you, like cars and radios?
Well, yes and no. We have not bought any new vehicles for several years. We have purchased a couple of used lease return vehicles at a fraction of the cost of what it costs for a new vehicle. As a matter of fact, we bought 2 vehicles at the price of 1 new vehicle. We recently were donated 2 vehicles from the city of West Lynn that gave us 2 vehicles that they weren't using anymore. So those have gone to replace vehicles with high mileage. We're running vehicles now with close to 200,000 miles on them. And frankly, they're police rated vehicles, and they have, you know, heavier duty brakes and heavier suspension, but they take a beating because we do things with these vehicles that you, as an everyday driver, do not do with them. And it's the officer's office. And so he's in that, or she's in that vehicle all the time. We have not been able to replace some of the equipment that needs to be replaced. Fortunately, our shops does a pretty good job of keeping the maintenance up on them. But when you're driving vehicles that we have to put the miles on and push them as hard as we have to push them because we are so short-handed, it's not uncommon for an officer to have to drive 45, 50 miles running lights and siren to get to a call. That's not good on any vehicle. So vehicles that we have with the high mileage on them, it's pretty tough on them. Tasers, yes, they're expensive, and we should probably replace a couple of aging tasers. We have other equipment that wears out that is more difficult to replace now simply because of the cost. We're doing things to try to save costs, such as purchasing used vehicles for ones that are just completely worn out, as well as we have a couple of years ago recently switched over to propane in our vehicles, and that saved you as a taxpayer last year about $30,000 in fuel cost. Propane is much more cost effective and more efficient, and so we also get a rebate from the federal government under the Clean Air Act that helps offset our price of fuel for propane. But when we were paying close to $3.50 a gallon for regular unleaded gas, and we're paying $1.79 a gallon, and then getting another 50 cents off a gallon for the propane, that's a huge savings for the taxpayer. So we're looking at different things in the jail. We've reduced some of our medical costs by finding another vendor that allows us to return some of the medications that are not used by the inmates. And so that's saving us money. We've recently renegotiated a contract for food service in the jail, lowering the cost for the taxpayer as far as our operations in the jail are concerned. But equipment is it's starting to wear out, and we desperately need to be able to put officers in equipment that gets them there safely and gets them the tools in their hands that they need.
I was thinking when you were mentioning the speeding problem, that if a policeman is out trying to stop somebody who's doing 100 miles an hour, he's not doing it at 80 or 90. He's probably doing it at 110, 120 miles an hour. And I would not want to be doing that on a car that has 200,000 miles on it. I don't care how well that it's maintained. And I think that sounds to me like it's pretty darn dangerous.
You have to make that conscientious decision. Do you want to push that vehicle that hard? While at the same time, you don't want the vehicle to continue ahead of you that's driving at those speeds and then get involved in a crash because someone's pulling out thinking that vehicle's only approaching them at 55 miles an hour when it's actually doing 105 miles an hour.